So yesterday we left off with the user test and the results from that. And before we start looking into how to edit it or how to make changes based upon that and like what I'm going to be thinking as it relates to that user test, I just want to talk about like how I got to where I am at with these stats. And I kind of did that already, but I didn't. It has things in there that maybe just be worth just talking through real quick. So I actually started with this one. I just created this and like it included a homepage redesign. So if you actually go to the homepage, it's the white background with just text, link, and the pink, and then this little link here. And you can it works, it's fine, but you don't have it just doesn't work as well when you want to add more to that screen. So what I was thinking here was if I'm introducing designs and one second, there we go. And if I'm if I'm designing these stats, like it has to somehow be separated from this. And so throughout the whole app, I mean, or most of the app, I do have this background, this you see this like light bluish background and then with white cards on top of it. So I was kind of trying to keep that design going with this. And so I started here, and I actually didn't even start with this background, or sorry, this accent color at the top of the frame. And so, what's happening? There we go. Is it frozen? Everything seems fine. So, there we go. I don't know what happened. Um, Anyway, I didn't have that accent border, and it was just this very plain looking thing with not even these stats. Oh, I think these actually were the original stats I had. Um, and I decided to just see how this would look in a user test. And so what I did is I talked to two of my users, one that's in person and another one I emailed. And let's look at the one I emailed real fast. I'm gonna pause. Okay, yeah, so I sent him an email. I just took a screenshot of it and I sent that to him. And I all I did was ask him in your own words, what are the stats for and what else would you like it to do or show? And this was his response. And one thing he immediately said is he told me what each one meant, and they're correct. And one thing worth noting is also this is also a non-native or English is not his first language, and so it's same thing here. If I don't really get false positives from this, if if he well, maybe I'm using that wrong in this context, that false positive term, but if he understands something, then I very likely have done a really good job with, or a good enough job wording it and explaining it. If he doesn't understand it, maybe it's not that at the end of the world, but I'm still very likely going to rework it because I have a lot of international users. So not a lot, but I do have international users. Anyway, since he got all these, he or if not got all, if he we I was thinking he understands what all four of them are for. I felt good about that. But one thing he did say was the metric of average time spent. So this one here, average time spent studying a question during a quiz. He said he wouldn't want that, or it wouldn't change how he approached the app. I thought, yeah, I wouldn't, I don't want it either. And so I eventually got rid of that within these new variants, things I tried after that. And so that was really good. I used that information he gave me to change a stat. But something that's nice here is he wants to see the count of the words. So he says words, that's another word for question because he's mostly studying vocabulary. And also in comparison to the amount of cards shown to you or the ones you have memorized, like looking at that comparison, which is something that was said yesterday in the user test as well with the other users. So that's two people now who kind of want the same thing. So I now have a very good clear sign that I need to get this stat in there, which is very which it just that's exciting. So from there, yeah, so that was the information I got from that. And let's talk about where is it? Is this and this is like the original task I had for it for showing progress. This was started in June 2019. So I've been thinking about this user story and like showing progress for a very long time. Um, and anyway, in a user test, I got these quotes, which is what sparked this initial design here. Um, that's not it. Where is it? And so some analytics to show you that you are learning at a faster pace or memorizing more details, of course. Missing some kind of analytics so they can see I'm improving. And yeah, the average amount of times. Yeah, he said he wanted to see the average amount of time spent studying, which I didn't expect users to want to see. And what did he say? So, like he said, average amount of time spent studying, amount of quizzes taken, the last time you took a quiz on a study set, and the average time spent per question. Those are things he all specifically said during that user test that he would like, which was surprising. So that's where I got these initial stats to start with and whatnot. So anyway, I took that to here. I added that accent border just because, well, I'll show you exactly why I decided to do that. I have within my product design process board, and I think I explained this last time, I can't remember. This is just a board where I hold like all of my product design stuff, like things that I just want to keep coming back to and thinking about. And I just put it all in one place. And it's public, so definitely can use it if you want. And so anyway, where was there was something in here that made me think, yeah, I should do it. Or I should add that accent border. Where is it? It has something to do with borders. Useful few borders. Every button, every button is. Use accent borders right there to add color to a bland design. So that's where I got that from. It's just like a article I read at one point. There are nice, uh, there's nice little things in there that or like images in there that and examples that I'm using. So anyway, that's where I got that idea from. So that's what that was. And the box here, I got this. The inspiration came from Google Analytics. So that's where I got that from. All right. Anyway, that led to me just like I went and Googled like stats UX or something and saw icons used and I was like, well, I'll just try that out. Anyway, all of that eventually led to what we have here. So let's talk about, or let's start thinking about how to redesign this based upon the most previous user test. Okay, so one thing that's very actionable from all that is changing the stats themselves. And I haven't put too much effort into like getting the designs or the stats exactly right for the design itself. I figure that's something I can easily do in the code as long as I have this designed out correctly. Like if I want to change, I don't know, this stat to the total number of questions recalled, then I can easily do that in the code itself. The At this point, what I'm thinking is I'll probably do this probably my last iteration of this design before I start coding it. And that's because I think I've gotten enough feedback now to feel good. Now I'm starting to feel good enough about building this out, at least in its current form. And maybe we would redesign it later, but I think it's good enough as is. And so I don't think I necessarily need to I don't think I need to like keep doing a user test specifically to find out if people understand what the stats are for. I think I can code that into the product and then ask people on the product itself and then just change the wording if I need to. So with that being said, it means that my next move is to redesign this based upon the user feedback. So as a reminder, she said that she prefers this clean design here. And based upon the feedback I got from my other user, he he likes a like, he doesn't even need these stats. So it's like making them really fancy and look nice isn't super important anyway. So maybe I should start with a simpler look. Even though this feels pretty simple to me, she mentioned that she liked the symmetry of this. So at this point, I should be clear. This is not where I'm strong. Is that I am definitely weakest um, the at designing this in terms of making it look making it look beautiful, making it feel good, all that stuff. Like that's not where I'm strong. So I'm definitely strongest at figuring out what to build and making it usable and making it easily accessible. Um, so this is we're gonna put this together, but you should know this is where I'm weakest, so you're gonna see like me struggle through some things. Um, I'm thinking right now probably the best route to go is one, definitely stay. I think this is all fine. Very simple. On mobile, we'll probably just show two stats instead of three. And here is where a change will happen. I don't think I'm going to keep the icons. I think I'll try something else. Um, and since I'm struggling right now to come up with an idea of how to make this look, I'm going to go back to my product design process board and gather inspiration. So what I'm thinking, one, this isn't a bad idea. Well, it has a colored background, so I don't know what an accent border would look like, but maybe an accent border here with the title above it, like a title about this section. Um, that's an idea. Let's go back to the top. That won't be held. See, nothing more to take away. Use the basic color scheme with brighter colors. Yep. A lot of white space. Use your borders, not everybody uses background color. Offset your shadows. I mean, something I noticed yesterday was maybe it's not the end of the world to have a floating card on top of a floating card, but I don't like it. It didn't look right in the context of what I was building. I think I'm going to try the accent border on the sides first and go from there. First thing I want to do is I need to detach this component and go ahead and make my own for this. And or just for this page, I mean. All right, first thing is get rid of this. Let's see if we can't put an inside, or not inside, a left stroke on it, okay? Let's get this to 12 or something. That isn't bad. I think there could be some more though. I think 24 might be the right move. Okay, yeah, it's not bad. I'm gonna go a little further with this. Make that 0. I mean, that's a pretty good delineation of a section. Okay, so if I were to, yeah, I'm actually not upset with that at all. Is it too simplistic? Too simple? Not sure. Um, all right, so at this point, maybe the best thing to think about is what is the easiest thing to develop? It's probably this border and not adding this icon. Um, and also from develop or design wise, I don't know which icons to use. That was pretty clear feedback that the icons weren't the best. I'm definitely not in a position where I can start designing my own icons. Um, I could find an icon to use, I'm sure, but that's part thought. Okay, so easiest thing right now is this border on the side. Um, I want, yeah, I need to use this component. Um, yeah, dang it. Means I have to retype some of the stats if I want to keep it, but um, yeah, I'm going to. Quizzes. I'm gonna bring it back. There we go. Quizzes completed. Yeah. And quizzes completed. 35. Quiz streak. Days. Quizzes completed. I'll say in the last 30 days. Okay. I don't know if that's exactly what I have, but it's good enough. Okay. How does that look? With that and this border, it's kind of weird. It's gotta, I don't know, something weird about it. Start at all. And then make this black 15% or something. No. All right. Let me think of a title to add for this. This may be what's needed. Um, answers? Maybe. We'll see. Let's go. Cinnabald. Bring this upside down. Come on. Okay. Um, same thing here. Looking at maybe just throwing in spaces. It's 12. And get that into this one. Oops. Right, this will be answers, quizzes, and then something like that. Okay, how does that look? Actually, that's not too bad. Yeah. I can work with that, something like that. Um, I really like the idea. I like the icons a lot, and how they looked, but at the moment, getting this out is probably more important than getting it going further with the redesign, making it look better, all that stuff. That's my gut instinct here. Really, what I'm struggling with right now is just making sure that, like, I want people to get excited when they see this as like they feel good about it. And don't know if they're going to accomplish that with this. Like, I don't know if it's a good enough design. I'm like, this border here makes it feel like I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's like a drop down or something. I don't know. It's not jiving right. I don't know. It's something off about it. Um, just hide it. Just curious. And then take out the padding there. Hmm. I already moved both of them up, get them closer to their title. Can't do that because that's not where that's at. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe. No. All right. Yeah, I feel like I'm close with this. What if it's on the top? What if the top has, oh gosh, I don't know, 12. Let's do that. That's not bad either. Um, let's see. It's the thing is there's so much space between these, and then having maybe it should. Maybe if it went into a one metric per there's two columns. If it did that instead. Um, there we go. That's what I want. That's what it is. Huh. Now that doesn't look bad at all. Yeah, it's not bad. And then another one of these. Yep. Have this vertical. Um, right, let's get it right from the first one. So this should be that's fill, that's hug, that's fixed. Um, okay, and that's hug contents. So if you were to add one, that was supposed to be good. Um, I think that's a winner for now. Maybe I put too much stock into what one user said about what they preferred. I don't know. But I think this is good enough. Um, I want to see what this looks like without the border. I don't think it needs the border. But it would add some flavor to what might be a bland design. Um, and if I were to maybe add a icon here and here to give it a little bit more umph, maybe good. I mean, the border here is, I don't know if it's too much. My feeling is I'm overusing that and I could do something better. Instead, just have some good spacing or something. Um, yeah. So bad. Yeah. Um, right now, I want to have that icon real fast. So where is it? Oh, I'm clicking too much. There we go. Gonna give me that. All right. Oops, I don't need that. I need this one again. Maybe I should be looking for a different icon look, which I could do, but um, for now it's good enough. Yeah, the icon, again, I haven't put too much thought into it, so could be better. All right. Well, that. And then move this down some to there. Like that's could be a little closer. Without being, yeah, yeah, that feels better. Um, okay. I will very likely decide on the icon in the moment based upon what's available on the noun project or somewhere else, or maybe I'll just export this. I haven't decided. So that's feeling better. I like that. Um, let's do the same thing here. How much space is there between these? Okay. Okay. And now phone number. Oh, good enough. And this will be questions. All right. And then the row is where's the icon? Okay, group those together. Let's move them over until they are aligned. Nice. Nice. And that is right there. Okay. Let's get the level where it should be. Yep. Let's move this down a little bit. Okay. How does that look? Hmm. Don't love it yet, but I think it's better. And there's plenty of, I don't know, personality with it for now. Yeah, I can live with it. Just curious how I'm going to use this, if I input this icon, and if I can use this icon. Um, leave that out right now. Export. Export icon as an SVG. Nice. We're good. I'm curious what it looks like. I thought it exported, but it didn't. About just some of the things. Yes, documents. Oh, I see how. Oh, that's okay. All right. Okay. Oh, interesting. I've never seen these. All right. There it is. Now I have the icon. Nice. Okay. That'll be very easy. Should really think, though, about what icon I want to use. Let's go to material or yeah, material design icons. And I don't have consistency with my icons throughout my product. I should, I know, but I don't. And can I open other icons at the same time? Nope. So, oops. Nothing popped up. There. So it comes up under quiz. This is what I did use. Let's see. Is there anything from here? I don't know if you can export any of these as SVGs or not. Something that shows like that exemplifies quizzes. Hmm. Yeah, nothing in here, but I just want to see something real fast. Oh, and export it as a SVG. Just curious what it looks like. Okay, it's an image. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can influence the path though. Like I had colors with the path, um, the path attribute, or fill. I'm sorry. No, doesn't work. Worth a shot. All right, so I can't use those anymore. Yeah. Based upon what I'm seeing here, I want to go back and look at or go back to the user test that I had yesterday, and try to see what the exact words were that were used. Um, where was it? Yes. All right, so you won't be able to hear this, but I'm going to hear this, and I apologize for that. But she had exact words she said about the icons. Yeah, I'm not talking much right now. I'll pause this while I figure this out. You said this means a list, and this means you finished something. But there's a little bit more. Okay, so not perfect, but it is close. And with the text beside it, it may be enough. Um, Let me just look it up one more time for the word answer. Let's see what comes up. Um, just gonna say, I mean, question study. Hmm. What did I use? Oh yeah, assignment. That was how I got that from. It's pretty good. Oh, maybe a check mark one. I'm getting way too deep into just figure out an icon. For the most part, this isn't the best use of my time, but like I just want to make sure there's some personality here. Maybe it's the wrong kind of person I'd add. I don't know. Um, but I don't want the icons to be confusing. I don't think they're too confusing with the text beside it. Maybe answer stats and quiz stats. Um, maybe it's super not clear which icon I should use. All right, the last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go through, like, just go through this list of material design icons and see if one pops up to me as being better. I mean, assignment turned in is pretty good. In fact, I'm probably going to switch it out if I don't find something better. Um, let's see. I'm not seeing anything special yet, or to indicate answer stats. Um, I like this. This is good. All right, let's switch. Oops. I need to actually go back to the component here and add it. Easy to do it. All right. Just need to get it aligned with that. There we go. What was this? 24 by 24? Almost. And then the color is this 124 something. Yeah. Cool. Good enough. All right, let's see how that looks now on the desktop. Oh shoot, I replaced the wrong one. Oopsie. All right, I'm gonna copy it so I don't have to do anything else. But let's see everything, get it back. All right, and then this one's the replace it. What's the color? Oh, that's why it's outside of it. Um, does the ellipse have the wrong color? It does. Should be this, but with what, 50 cents? Oh, what is it? Um, one. I'm just gonna copy it. I'm not gonna think too much about it. And get that in here. Let's All right. Assignment. Assignment turned in. All right, there we go. Yeah, much better. Those both really feel like congratulations typed icons. All right, now I'm starting to feel good about this. Maybe I got to get too bogged down to the weeds here, but I think this is pretty good. Okay, I might change this title, but I think I could do that in the code just as easily. Okay, I think at this point we have a design that's ready to go. So something we'll need to do for this is we'll also be doing a change to the homepage. This will be happening on mobile as well, and it will more or less follow what we have happening here. So, oops, I'll keep this. I'll basically do this. I will not show these two, but I'll show a few more here. Excuse me. And here, I'll just collapse this into, or I don't need to collapse anything. I'll just, yeah, this will stay a box, so it'll be okay. Yeah, I think we are ready to code. Let's go ahead and start a new Loom for that. Okay, now it's time to start writing code. So, I figure the best thing to do to start out would be to walk through what the app looks like the code looks like, and talk through the packages I'm using, the structure I have, all that good stuff. So let's start in the gem file. Actually, let's take one step back from that and say what this app is. It's a Ruby on Rails app. It is using React on the front end, and at a high level, that's what it is. So the gem file, some of the excuse me, the gems we're using. Rails, right? 6.1. I wanted to get that to 7, but there's a bug with devise that doesn't make that possible, at least based upon my current setup. I looked recently, and I think that they've cleaned it up, but it doesn't work, or it doesn't work on a Rails API. It works on a Rails web app just fine, not an API. So that's why it's at 6.1 still instead of 7. Active interaction I use for my services. I'll get to that in a little bit. Let's see, devise token auth. I prefer devise token auth over devise. And I found token authentication to be easier to set up and to be fine. Let's see what else we have. We have GraphQL. I'm using that. Mix panel for tracking, doing products, full event tracking and analytics tracking. Pundit, yeah. SAS Rails I'm not using for anything, but I needed it for something a long time ago to get something to work. I don't remember what it was. Sentry for error messaging. Let's see what else. What was Split for? Split.rb, Split, Gem Split. I don't remember what Gem Split is. That's been there for so long. And we don't need to deal with it. It looks like I split it out, or I created a fork of it. I don't know why. Anyway, Webpacker is how I'm getting the React code out there. Strike for payments. RSpec, use a lot of RSpec, huge on that. Parallel test makes my test run faster in the GitHub Actions. That's my CI. I use awesome print all the time. Type in AP here and it prints very awesomely. Rubicoping for Rubicop with standard to keep my code clean and standardized. Bullet. Don't remember what I was using Bullet for. Oh yeah, that's the M+1 gem. That pops up in my console every now and then, or my logs. Anything else? Copy Botter for testing. Yeah, that's been really good. RSpec retry to make CI much better as well. He's able to do a lot of engine testing in the browser, so that's where that comes from. Yeah, I think that is a good explanation of the gem file. And now the package JSON file. Oh gosh, what did I do here? Oh, probably some empty space and it got removed. Okay, let's look at our dependencies, mixed panel again, Rails Webpacker to get everything running, Stripe. Um, what else? Anything big here, immutable to make sure it works well with my Redux. And passing data through moment. I should get rid of that. I know it's old, but I started building this a long time ago, so it's there. All right, React. React Native is in my app, but I stopped building the React Native app, the React Native app a long time ago. But it's still like it was in progress, so like I can't just get rid of it now. But it's stuck there for probably ever until I get back to React Native. Um, yeah, I use Redux Thunk. That's my favorite way to do state management, at least right now. I know there are much better ways. Um, let's see. Anything else that needs to be talked about? Effect server style alert. No, I think that covers most everything. So those are the packages anyway. And let's go through the code itself. Let's start with the top. So the app. Within JavaScript here is where we hold all the React code. So it actually starts here. This is the file, and we have, and I got to be very careful not showing sensitive data. I'm going to go into my code app, so I got to be very careful about that. I don't think this DSN is sensitive. I'm pretty sure that's fine. So we just might end up putting, I don't know. I think it's fine. Anyway, this is where it gets going. This is or like the base where you might see the app.jsx file in a Create React app. That's what that looks like. Within SRC, I have it structured like this is how I have my React app structured. Now, I started building this a very long time ago. I wouldn't structure it this way now, but I think it's been fine. It's worked out fine. Actions hold my Redux actions. Components hold all my components. And in there you have things like study sets, and then there's a study set show page. That probably needs to be separated from like the reusable components because it's not reused anywhere except within one place, which is in the container. And I'll move my face over to this side. There we go. And in this container, you'll have like study sets show, and then from here, I reference show study set the component. That's kind of been the structure I've worked with, and it's been fine. But hindsight maybe would have done a little differently. So yeah, in the containers, this is where I'm hooking up Redux with everything. And my I never do any styling, any component stuff in here. I just like get actions set up. So like delete study sets, mounting the component, all that good stuff that like where I need to like make a call to get the data or whatever. And then I'll pass delete study set through to the component. And one second. Sorry about that. I have a little bit of a cough today. And this is to that. So yeah, that generally speaking, the containers, yeah, they set up the business logic, they get hooked up to the components like are in between. Constants has our prop types, action types as well for the reducer or for Redux in general. Context holds some context they do use. GraphQL, all I have on my mutations already set up there. The reducers here, you might see that using the show example, show start, show failure, show success, what happens in those situations. And the routes, this is a file I didn't set up super well. Don't need like a capital R directory. but it is what it is. And again, it's building a long time ago. Holds all my routes. I import those routes into here, the packs, and this is where I get it all set up. My services mostly hold API calls, but also holds a couple other things like an error service I use, um, the store that I set up, and shared, just some like shared utilities. I use the structure of like having shared used at whatever the highest level of something that might be using it. So for example, analytics.js is used in both the containers directory and in the components directory. So it sits at the same level as them. But I have shared directories at other level, like child or further down the line for when they are used, such as like here, such as, yeah. So like I only use handle error within services, so it sits within it. Styles are base, our mixins, our overrides, our variables. I don't import this too. Is this what I import? I don't remember exact index, maybe. No, this is the main import. So globally available is something that I have set up with Webpack. And here is the main file. I import my mixins, overrides, and then variables. So yeah, that's the rough setup of the JavaScript app, or the front end for Dorothy. Back end wise, let's say you make a call to get that study set, to show the study set and get the data for it. That's it. That will go through GraphQL through a query, show study set. I will then reference my service, my service that is using study set show. So study set show, and here it's just returns the study set. Obviously, I don't need this service for it, but that's generally the way I've built out my services and my calls and all that stuff. I guess yeah, it goes obviously it goes through the controller first, but the controller will actually call the GraphQL execute service, and then that ends up um, getting all the way to this surface here. So yeah, it does go through the controller initially, but passes its way to the service eventually. Pretty standard stuff with the models and the service. Anything else? I don't know if there's anything else to show here. Yeah, that's where it all sits. Okay, so I'm not going to click config because there's secret stuff in there, and I know I'll actually show it. Spec-wise, I mostly do feature testing. I have recently started doing Gherkin statements, and I found it to be much easier. I then use steps. I use the turnip gem for this. And so for what's this? The give feedback feature. What do these say? Submit feedback steps. There it is. Yeah. So I can just like throw all these in there and it works really well. And I can run this test and like that. And anyway, it's been really good for testing. But before that, I was just doing it as like an RSpec thing. But I also have request tests, I have service tests, I have all the tests. I like to do end-to-end testing at a high level for pretty much any feature I build. But then I'll support it with services and requests. Okay, I think it's a good high level overview of the of how Dorothy or how the app is used. So let's talk about what we're going to build. So we're going to be doing these this design here. We're going to be coding this out. So where I'm at right now with this is I'm thinking one, we have to do a redesign of the dashboard. This gonna look different, and I'm very happy to do that. I know it's gonna maybe in the real world you would separate this out into its own feature, but I'm not because I'm the only developer on this, so I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna go and start recording things in Trello that I need to do. So this is going to be upcoming. This is going to be doing. This is no longer in the product design process and whatnot. But let's start making a checklist of what needs to be done. I've already done one. Yep. So I've already I want to record on mixed panel when people click view more. So when they click that button, I want to see people are caring about their stats. We'll need to redesign dashboard. What else? We'll be looking at or pulling in a lot of stats. How I imagine this going is I'll set up probably a new GraphQL query and a whole new service to get the stats there. Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to handle that. So let's get a new branch set up for this. New branch. I've already actually started a dashboard stats thing, but it was very basic. So I'm not going to use that branch. We're going to get started on a new one. Okay. All right, where should I start? First thing I usually do in these is I go in and get the feature test written, not written, just started, um, so that I can visually think about how I'm approaching this and start adding use case or error cases as I go along, things like edge cases, I mean, and things I'm thinking about. Okay, so it's gonna be a feature. Let's see. Let's dashboard stats view dashboard stats dot feature. All right. And I'll use this context. I go ahead and what I do for this is I just go pull. I want to so that I can skip. I just go pull that title and I make that the feature. User is logged in. Great. Let's view dashboard stats steps. This will be on desktop. It'll be the only thing I'm doing. Well, maybe not initially. All right, given the users on the dashboard. Nice. Then and the user has taken one quiz. I don't think because I'm not going to show. I need oh, that's something I do need. I need a temporary screen or some coming soon type thing. I've seen something good in analytics how they do it here. I'm gonna pause this. Yeah, I like this. I'm probably gonna do something like this. Taking a screenshot so that you just plop it into here. And I'm not gonna design that in Figma. I'm just gonna code it out because I know what it's gonna look like probably. Let's see. All right, the user has taken one quiz. That there's probably already a step I have somewhere where I can just. In fact, I'm not gonna. I know I have one. Let's see. Where's my take sample quiz? Signing up for the first time. Should there take a quiz? User took a given. Yeah, this one. This is fine. Given a user and the user is them. Using the difference between a and the is a means I'm establishing the instance variable of a user, so that's why it's separate. Given a user is logged in, I think I can do that. Took a quiz yesterday and the user is on the dashboard. I'm going to do today. And the user's on the dashboard. Then they will see their stats and we'll see. This is where we decide, I guess, what one we're going to show first. Um, we know that there's two most important stats. I don't know if we necessarily need to show the most important stats to start out with. We could, but I don't know if that's necessary. Quizzes completed is a very easy one to show. Um, but this is the big one. This is the one that people liked a lot. And then the number of answers memorized. Um, yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, probably third. We'll show. Quizzes completed. Total time spent keeping your answers memorized. And answers were called. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. That's the first stat I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's fine. Those are three. We'll start with those three. I mean, I can always move this around. And they will see their stat. I don't know. I want to try to get the data exactly right on this. Um, yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, they will see their. Um, and I don't know if I want to quote that or not because I might want to. Yeah, I'm not going to quote that. Um, that's going to be its own individual test. It doesn't get like you put those quotes in whenever you want to basically pass whatever this value is into the expectation and actually want to do. I don't want to do that. I want to like do multiple things with this step. That's really annoying me that the capitalization is all. But it's okay. I think I can just do this. Nice. Um, all right, so next one will be answers recalled. Is that the phrasing we want to use for this? Um, let me think on this real fast without Kindle. Yeah, that's fine. Answers recalled is going to be good because I'm going to put an info tab that explains what it's for. Um, yeah, yeah, that's good. Hey, so I'm going to show that stat as well. And then there are quizzes. Okay. Okay. Um, and we'll see where they they click view more link, then they will see their stats on the profile page. Yeah, and then let's change that to see their stats on the profile page. And now we're gonna Build and invest. So we're gonna add more stats in that will show. I don't know exactly what those are gonna be right this second. We'll come back to that in a little bit. I just don't want to forget this one though. This scenario. No quiz. Given the user is on the and they will then they will see the stats placeholder. Oh, and they navigate. How do I do it? I have a spec for this. How do we do this navigation? And they visit profile slash stats. Okay. And they will see solar. Yeah, probably. All right. So yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna implement this after they've done a quiz, and we'll yeah. I think that's the only two. Those are only two real scenarios I have to deal with. Okay. So that's how I'm gonna look at this from the perspective of the test as a whole. But I want to go ahead and start writing the service now. Let's see, where am I gonna put this? It's under progress. Me go into here. I don't actually remember what progress looks like as a model. Build report. What do I return to this? Complete. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay. Yeah, I've had started this before in the past. Okay. So I'll need to add more things to this, I believe. Maybe. This is holding the amount of quizzes you completed. In the quiz streak. I really have to track the quiz streak via this. I don't think I have to do other things with it. Okay, the reason I did this as like something I stored in the database rather than clear it every time was just so it wouldn't be a slow thing every time. So go quickly. I think that was the right move. That would mean that we would want to update it. Yeah. So we're going to want to update this after every quiz, which is what we're currently doing. That's the only time things will change. No, sorry, this gets called every night as well. Let me think on this real fast. Okay, I think the right move is to call or to not change when I'm updating the progress. I think the right move is to keep that the same and also to add just more columns to this. I believe so. One thing I want to know though is after a quiz is completed, do we do a full update on Flash study sessions? And we don't. Okay. Yeah, so like that, if a quiz has a study set on it, that means it is that means that means it's a Flash study session. I'm just thinking about the best way to handle this. Yeah, because we need to call full update every time, not just after a study. So this would be a significant refactor. Um, yeah, we would want to call it, definitely want to call it after a study set is, or after any quiz is completed, not just if it's, regardless of whether it's a flash study session or not. Um, Probably we'll just end up adding something like is is from flash study session. Yeah. Okay. That. And we do a full update. And then we decide what to do here. Um, so we'll say set return if is from FSS for now. Um, yeah. All right. Where else do I call progress full update? I call it in. Yep, I already know about that. I know about that. And then nightly updates. That's it. So yeah, that'll be fine. Um, yeah, because at night we run it just to see if, like basically see if they completed their quiz that day, if they had one due, and if they didn't, we'll reset their quiz streak. So that's what that's for. So we don't need to do anything else there. Um, I don't think. No, we would. We would. Um, we would also need to record which ones are current, like how many answers are currently memorized. Because if they miss the quiz, that means that theoretically they're no longer going to have that memorized. Um, yeah. Okay, so those are things we'll need to do there. All right. Let's get some services written up, or some stats, some service tests written up for the stats. All right, so this is going to come from progress, full update spec. I have a lot here. We're going to do full update dot feature because I like these better. Feature full update. Um, this service is ran to do a progress update. All right, so we'll have some givens, all that good stuff. Progress, full update steps. Yep. This will be only one thing we're gonna look at. All right, so nice. Okay. And then build reports. Be another one. That's just going to be returning the data though, so that's not fancy. Returning what's in this model. Okay. Let's start. Let's just do this. I'll figure the rest in a second. The user has a quiz. I don't have anything. Okay. Given a user has taken 9 quizzes. Yeah. No, we're not doing that. We don't need that many. We'll go 3. Um, honestly, we don't need 9 quizzes. We'll go 7. Um, and they took 5 seconds per quiz question per attempt. No, this isn't going to be how that will work. Okay, so since I lost those 2 hours of video or so, I'm just gonna walk through like where I left off, and then I'll keep going. And this time I'm actually gonna turn the mic off, the camera off. I'm just gonna code. Um, the rubber ducking approach is really nice for a little bit, but then I often just sitting here quietly thinking about things. And I can talk through it out loud, and and it does help sometimes. Um, but I think I'm moving a little slower than I would like. So I'm going to do that eventually. But let's just quickly run through what I left off on. You see, there's a lot of changes. Um, so a lot of things happened. Let's get to this. I was writing my copy butter test for the service about updating for getting basically the stats updated. I hold them in a model called progress. Um, and in that model, um, there's going to be there's going to be a couple new columns storing things like the amount of answers currently memorized and whatnot. I was figuring out which ones I'm actually just going to query for instead of storing on a model because it should be a quick enough query. I also wrote a feature, for Sarang, the feature spec for this, like actually viewing the stats, um, just so I have something. And I was making changes to the services. So, or starting to make changes to that. So that's where I left off. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn the camera off for now, mute the microphone, and code for a little bit, and see where I live off. Okay, that's all for now. I probably be back in a little bit. I guess having me here actually makes it more personal, but I am going to keep the mic muted. wonder, yeah, where I'm at right now is just doing some testing around with quiz stuff, or getting a booster right. I just don't know why I want to tell you about that, but I did. Okay, muting again. Okay, so where I'm going to leave off today is I'm currently trying to, I'm actually like now getting the work started within my full update service. And within that service, I'm trying to get tests to pass. I left off with a failing test, which I like to do when I'm done for the day, so I know where I left off the next day. And I'll be trying to figure out why my quiz streak did not increase um, when I expected it to, is very likely related to a due date thing. So, um, yeah, we'll see what happened and uh, go from there tomorrow. Yeah, that's where I'm leaving off.